It's June 25th, and Big Turtle Lake has gone through some dramatic changes since the ice left the lake 3 months ago. With lengthening days and warming water, the metabolism of the lake is starting to pump at a faster rate. Algae blooms are occurring on a regular basis, feeding the smaller creatures at the bottom of the food chain. The complexion of the lake is changing as well. Weed growth is developing rapidly. Distinct weed lines are forming. The shallow bays are filling in with heavy cover. Largemouth bass are slipping into their summer patterns in a variety of different areas of the lake. Some fish stay shallow. Others are holding on the expansive weed flats. Still others are schooling tightly on the deep weed edges. The summer period has arrived. Feeding activity depends very much on the local weather conditions. Cold fronts can slow fish activity, while stable weather creates an explosion of bass activity. The first hot spell of the summer has also brought Dan Sura and Bob Ripley to Big Turtle, looking for deep weed-line bass on the 4th of July.
Grab a couple of these things are. Get rigged, they're waiting down there, Bubba. Bob, I'm going to use a standard Texas rig worm, and I'm using a 6-inch worm, which seems to be the real hot ticket right now. I'm going to simply Texas rig this puppy, and then something just a little bit different. Instead of a standard bullet weight, I'm going to use something called the worm dancer, which is a bullet sinker and a little bit of a rubber skirt to give me a little bulk, and it's going to help slow that worm down on the sink. And I'll tell you what, that's going to get me a lot of bass. What are you going to use, R?
A little lead head jig head with a hook on it that's exposed. It's a small hook, thin wire that can be tore through the weeds. This will take fish on the outside of the weed line, and you'll get them on the inside.
Bob, this weed line moves out and takes a slight bend to the right up here, and that inside turn's got some bigger fish.
Okay, if that runs along here and it comes out on a point, Dan, I'm going to sort of parallel cast it here and let you cast up into the weeds. This little mushroom jig heads really work good on the outside edge of those weed lines. Yeah, you see those bait fish in there, Dan, right now. That's what I'm looking for along the edge of the weed line. Lots of times the sunfish will be up high and your bass will be underneath it.
There you go. I told you, Bob, those fish are right here. Woo! Hot fish. The fish was right on the point.
Not bad.
You see it, Bob? Oh, yeah.
Not bad at all. First fish off the deep weed line. Got him stuck good. Okay, fat fish came off that weed line, Dan. Boy, they're in there.
You know, Bob, you're going to pick off those more active fish before I get to them with this plastic worm. But I tell you something, Bubba, before the day's done, I'm going to get a bigger fish than you because I know those big guys are tucked up inside a little bit.
There we go, Dan. We got another one.
Whoa!
Right on that edge.
Yeah! Get a lip on him, R.
All right, Dan. Another one off that small jig head. Boy, that small hook gets him right on the edge of that weed line. That's fun. Nice, healthy fish. Like that. The beautiful part about this, Dan, is you can use a good graphite rod. It's got a little bit of backbone to it, open face spinning reel, 8 to 10 pound test line, and you're set with this little jig. All you gotta do is pop it when you set the hook, and remember to play the fish. You can't horse them out of here because you're using a little lighter line.
Come on, come on. Dropped it. Jiggle. Come on. Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is weight here, bub. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, whoa. Look at that, Bob. Look at that. Did you see that? Look at the size of this one. I wonder why I fish a wow. Look at that rod bed. Come to Papa. Oh, there you go, Bob. How's that? Summertime weed line bass. It don't get no better than that. Woo. There you go, girl. He ate my worm. I got to get another worm. I want another cast in there, Bob. Don't move this boat. Wait, I'm actually shaking. I know there's more of them out there, Bob. Right there. Come on. That worm was sitting on the bottom. I felt the fish pick the worm up and then spit it, and I just jiggled the worm in place. Just jiggle the rod, let it sit there, jiggle the rod, let it sit there, and that fish swam up and boom, inhaled it. I'm sure if I'd have continued fishing through that fish the way I was, move it and pause, move it and pause, fish wouldn't have bit. Sometimes those bigger fish really like that ultra slow presentation.
And we're slid off it just a little bit now, Dan.
Work back in that inside corner too. The more active fish will be on the point, but sometimes those bigger fish will hold back in that pocket, but it's a little bit thicker weed cover in there. A little bit better break down there too. Ah, yeah! Oh, yes! Oh! Oh, I don't know. Oh, oh, good fish. Whoa! Whoa, strong. Yeah, good job. Yeah, whoa, you see that fish? You see the size of that, Bob? Holy moly. Oh, oh, there's some horse. Oh, gee, would you come on? Wow!
Bring him in.
I gotta show this fish to you, Bob. I want you to take a good look at what a largemouth bass looks like.
Jeez.
I'll tell you what, folks. We've been having a gas out here this afternoon. Summertime means deep weedline bass. And Bob, what are you using again?
Simple little jig head, exposed hook, and a 4-inch worm.
Boy, that's deadly. And I'll tell you what I was doing. I was pitching with a plastic worm up just a little bit inside and fishing the heavier weeds. And today, well, the bigger fish were inside. I'll tell you what, Bob, let's switch and maybe you can get a few of these big boys.
It's a 1-2 punch that's hard to beat.
Hey, weedline bass,
All right.
summertime bass, it don't get no better than this. Woo!